It's either the sweltering heat and drought like this in Karamoja sub-region, or floods and mudslides like these in parts of Elgon and Rwenzori that have given prominence to climate change issues in Uganda and across the globe.
Being a young person from Karamoja, we know in Karamoja, most of the works are done by the female beings. Like you say, when they say in terms of taking care of the family, looking for what to eat, like the house to sleep on, we can say the grass houses that we thatch them. You find like when there are no grasses for you to cut to go and thatch your rooms, when there are no reeds for you to cut to go and build your houses, you have to move long distance. When we say Karamoja is a desert area, that means you have to go and look for those things. The men, they sit and relax.
But even my fellow youths there at home, we are depending on our parents, we are depending on these crops that have been grown. Maybe that is our main source of food. So if these crops were destroyed, then time to come we are going to suffer with hunger.
Such calamities led to the Paris Climate Accords, an international treaty on climate change adopted in 2015, and subsequent initiatives like the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP. The 27th conference sits in Egypt early next month, and young people from disaster-affected regions met in Kampala and made recommendations ahead of COP27.
World leaders are going to meet to discuss their climate recommendations. We need strict regulations on investing companies that are encroaching on our wetlands, that are destroying our natural resources.
Other recommendations include youth inclusion in decision-making and climate negotiations, and implementation of existing climate commitments.
The youth, they are too passionate in advocating for climate change. But movements, they are poor, they are students. So they cannot move to Kapchora, they cannot move to Kasese, they cannot move to Mbara, they cannot move to all these areas. Talk about Bududa, they can't go there. So we pray that COP27 should look into funding these youth to advertise and promote better methods of climate change, and two, funding government officials, government projects.
The climate activists under the Fridays for Future Uganda and other countries continue to push for action, hoping that governments will act before Mother Nature gets too angry to accept an apology. Edward Mhumza, NTV.